All right, guys, I want to show you my new EDC. Henry Big Boy Mare's Leg in 44 Magnum. Got some watermelons downrange. One of them's got a little bit of a surprise in there from USA Chemical Supply. Let's shoot them and see which one is a surprise. Well, I guess it was number 2. Oh, I still got one left. Oh man, those federal soft points do a number on that. Well, that little thing packs a wallop. Let's open up the tube and get to talking about it. All right, guys, that intro was pretty crazy with this watermelons coming apart, but getting down to the meat potatoes of this video, talking about the Henry Big Boy Mare's Leg in 44 Magnum, like I mentioned in the intro. This is a very, very interesting little gun. It's considered a pistol. Does not have a full stock on it per se. It's meant to be fired with one hand or two hands in this manner here, but this is a very, very high quality firearm. It features a 12-inch octagonal barrel, which actually is kind of a classic historical look for these type of rifles. Plus, it also gives a little bit more surface area to the barrel, so it aids in cooling. It fires from a 6-shot tubular magazine. Basically, just load just like a 22 caliber tube-fed gun. Lock your tube back in place. We'll show that up close here in a little while. But solid brass receiver, big loop for gloved hands, and you know, it's just a great little firearm. The receiver is drilled and tapped to add a small rail, so you can put any kind of optic on this you'd like. But I think that we're going to be probably SBR in one of these, just to play around with it, make it a little bit more practical. But anyways, let's just show it in its true form here, see what we can do with it. I'm going to be taking some shots from about 15 yards on out to about 75 yards on some shootsteel.com targets, and just see what we can do. A little bit awkward to shoot two-handed, but it's actually pretty good. So, all right, let's shoot some steel here. Uh-oh. There we go. Boy, it puts a wallop on that steel from this range. Oop, 6 shots. All right, we've got our magazine tube top back off. Take a few more shots at steel. At about 15 yards. That little devil just doesn't want to get hit. There we go. I can't count today. To load the gun, pull the magazine tube, drop your rounds in one by one through the window. Your last round, you'll actually see the ammunition in the window there. Push down on your tube, lock it in place into the recessed notch, and then you're ready to chamber around and fire again. Let's take a couple of longer range shots at about, got a full-size D28 about 40 yards away. Just see if we can actually hit the thing. Let's see, I'm gonna give it a little bit of a low hold. There we go. Looks like I hit right in the middle. I short shuck that one. This thing is just a joy to shoot. I'm gonna let Eric have a go at it, see what he can do.
Well, the little Mare's Leg is not shooting too bad. I've always been intrigued by these guns, considering it is considered a handgun, which is awesome. The fact that it's kind of a nice way to have a short rifle. If you want to SBR it, you can add your stock later on, engrave the receiver, no big deal. A few facts that Chad didn't quite mention in his first segment there. You got a saddle ring on the left side of the receiver. The saddle ring is a retention device in case a gun comes out of your holster when you're on horseback. It keeps it from getting lost. That's what that's meant for, okay? The stock panels on this gun, the fore end and the stock, are American walnut. It's got basically a cut down butt plate and a straight comb walnut stock. Enlarged loop, buckhorn sights, pretty much the same thing you would see in the standard big boy rifle, but with a 12-inch barrel and cut down in order to be sold legally as a handgun. I'm gonna take some shots at some sodas here. Chad did pretty good in that entry part there. Let's just take a few shots. Oh yeah. Right over the side of him there. One thing that I will say, it's a difficult gun to shoot accurately. You definitely got to take your time. It can be a little awkward if you're not used to a gun like this, but certainly not bad. All right. I know we've been talking about this perfect pairs video. We are in the process of getting that put together. What that video is going to entail is guns that go well with a rifle as a companion. So if I had a big boy rifle, full-size rifle, and a mayor's leg, I've got two guns that take the same cartridge. All right, they're both light and handy, and that's a perfect pair. Now, this gun, in case I didn't mention, is available in 45 Colt and 357 Magnum. This one happens to be in 44 Magnum. I'm a big 44 Mag fan. We're going to take a couple of shots. I'm gonna let those sodas just hang out for a minute. I'm gonna see if I can hit that gong at 75 yards. I know that's kind of hard with this configuration, but we're gonna try it. Ooh, that went high. I have to cheat my point of aim down just a little bit there. Well, I hit the little popper up there, but that wasn't what I was aiming at. Well, I'll tell you what, guys, once this thing has a proper stock on it, be a great little contender for just a perfect little trail gun. And I know a lot of you guys have probably seen the Rifleman. Yeah, I'm not gonna try flipping this thing around like the Rifleman because I'll probably end up knocking myself out trying some crazy stuff like that. Classic movie though, if you haven't seen it. If you wanna see one of these little mayor's legs in action, one similar to it, that's definitely a good movie to check out. Gun's not running bad. I'm gonna take out our sodas here. Oh, it smoked it. Well, man, definitely make short work of those sodas. Let's try our gopher handler up there. I don't like the way he's looking at me. I got one shot for him. See if I can hit him. Just under him. That's all right. I know we might be thinking a little crazy here, but I'm gonna load it up one more time. I'm gonna see if we can take out our gopher up there on the hill. I know what you guys are thinking, but I just wanna try it. Call it optimism. Maybe I'm just feeling optimistic here. The 44 Magnum is a great cartridge. We are gonna be hopefully doing more work with the cartridge in general. All right. Just over the top of him. See if we can connect with him. It's all around him. Maybe it's just not in the cards for me without a stock on this thing. Ha ha! Right in the neck. All right, so I got the gopher. Now I got to shoot his evil handler. one more for good measure, just to make sure he's down. Good deal. There's definitely a lot of things that I like about this gun. There's not a whole lot not to like about it, other than the fact that, you know, of course it'd be awesome with a stock on this thing. So what we're gonna do, in a future video, we will be revisiting this exact gun in SBR form. So be looking out for that. We're gonna revisit it. Just for fun, I think we're gonna shoot this into ballistic gel, because early in the year, you know, we did some work with the big boy, and we were getting somewhere in the neighborhood of around 24 inches of penetration with a 240 grain load. This exact Federal 240 grain soft point was going into a lot of ballistic gel. So I really want to see what this gun is capable of compared to the big boy, so we can draw some conclusions between how they fit together as a perfect pair. And then I'll tell you what, after that, let's get into some other stuff, maybe take some long range shots from maybe a steady rest and see if maybe we can get this thing to connect at some obscene range. But my opinion on the gun is definitely favorable. They are American made. That's one thing that I don't think gets passed around enough when it comes to certain firearms. These are beautifully American made guns, very high quality, and they're made with a lot of pride. And I tell you what, really, really cool gun. You know, it takes a certain kind of person to appreciate a firearm like this, especially if, let's say you don't own a 44 Magnum lever action rifle of some sort, and you're on the fence about buying a pistol version. You know, you're thinking to yourself, well, why do I want a pistol version? It might be a little awkward to point, something like that, or I may not be able to shoot well with it without a stock. The gun really does need a stock, obviously, to wring the maximum amount of accuracy. But once we get this puppy set up with the stock, we're gonna run a scope mount and put a little optic on it, and you got the perfect trail gun, all right? Especially if you're a guy like me who, when I'm out on the trails, I like a 44 Magnum revolver to carry around. So let's say you already got your Smith & Wesson revolver or whatever you carry. You say you carry a Ruger or whatever, doesn't matter. You got your 44 Magnum revolver that shoots whatever round you like. You zero this gun to take the same round, and then there's another perfect pair. You got a SBR Mayer's leg and a 44 Magnum revolver. You might not be able to pull a 44 Magnum revolver off your hip and shoot something, you know, 50, 60 yards away with any kind of accuracy, or maybe you can, but I'm just saying, you may not feel comfortable taking a shot that far. But this gun, you pull out an SBR form, and you got you a perfect chance to take that same round that's in your pistol and launch it out to longer range and hit with some degree of accuracy. And that's what a lot of the cowboys did in the early days. You know, a cowboy would have a sidearm that was chambered in the same caliber that his rifle was chambered in. And that way you only had to carry one type of ammunition. It made supply and getting resupplied a lot easier. And that's really what a lot of the, you know, cowboys in the Old West, that's why you see a lot of the older lever action rifles chambered in pistol cartridges more so than some of the rifle cartridges, because they would often try to get a rifle that was chambered in very similar or the same cartridge what they were carrying in their actual revolver. So pretty interesting footnote there. But let's get on to some ballistic gel testing, and I think we might run up the hill and just for fun, maybe try to lob a few in at longer range. Close range, I think you can tell it's definitely got some accuracy potential. Those 3 shots that I put on that gong there at about 75 yards landed into about the size of a top of a Coke can. And that's just me shooting this thing informally, offhand. I mean, shaking all over the place, but taking my time. The gun definitely showcases some accuracy potential if you can hold it steady enough to shoot it. Let's move along. Not bad. The Mayer's leg's running real nice today. Little 44 Magnum, the 12-inch barrel. It's been shooting nice, but if you're anything like me, you want to know what it's going to do to some ballistics gel. So we got Federal 240 grain soft point, just like we did in the Henry Big Boy video earlier in the year. And we're going to pop this ballistic gelatin here and see what kind of damage it can impart. We've already shot it once, but Chad pulled a rookie move and he wasn't recording. So we'll give him a little bit of a mulligan on that one. That just means I get to shoot it again. So here we go. All right, well, something we can learn from a 12-inch barrel is the fact that you actually lose a little bit of velocity with the longer barrel like we saw in the Big Boy earlier this year. Okay, so that 20-inch barrel actually, it kind of loses velocity because that powder's burning so quick that it imparts more friction than it does actual imparting more spin.
Yeah, I think on the 20-inch barrel, the powder burns up maybe in the first, 10, 12 inches of barrel, and then the rest of it gives it a little bit of drag. I mean, we saw about 24 inches of penetration in the previous Big Boy video, but this, you got about 27.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a lot of penetration. That 44 Magnum is going to get through some stuff wicked. I think what we're going to do with this particular gun is probably SBR it, put a stock on it, and what we'll do is probably some more official accuracy testing as well as probably some velocity testing between the two guns just to really put that whole thing to rest, because with the 45 ACP you see the same thing. You run a 16-inch barrel, you actually get less velocity than what you would out of a shorter barrel or intermediate length barrel because that powder is burning so quickly that it's losing all of its energy within a certain barrel length, and after that you're just getting a little bit of drag. So that 12-inch barrel seems like a really nice contender for that particular cartridge. So good weight retention. We did get one piece of jacket that sheared off right as it went through this block here. Not a whole lot of consequence there, but definitely, ooh, look at that, that's scary. That could easily slice an artery or vein or, get, stuck in a organ or something like that, and that's a surgeon's worst nightmare.
I'll tell you what, for the, for what you pay for this 44 or this American Eagle, I mean, I'd hunt with that.
Absolutely. Well, let's move on to some other stuff. That's definitely awesome to, see that. The gun's shooting pretty good so far. So maybe we'll try a little bit of long range. I mean, without a stock on it, it's going to be kind of difficult to really, hold the gun, but maybe we can prop it up somewhere, take some long range shots and see what that little 12-inch barrel can really do.
Yeah, maybe in the future we can add a little optic to the top of it because it is drilled and tapped.
That'd be awesome. So, let's do it. I know what you guys are probably thinking, that I'm not going to hit the right side of a barn with this Mare's leg. You're probably right. I may not hit anything, but we just want to try it just to give the gun a fair shake. I've got a little hasty made redneck bench rest here, and I'm going to point it in the same way and hold it in the same way that I would if I were shooting at close range. I have made a minor adjustment to the sight just to give myself a little bit more of a bullseye hold. These buckhorn sights, especially with such a short sight radius, kind of make long range shooting impossible. But mind you, as a Mare's leg in an SBR form, I'm really wanting to see if putting a scope on this thing would make it worth it, and we probably will do that. So stay tuned for that. All right, let's just see if we can lob a shot at our gopher handler at 250 yards and just see if we can hit him.
Oh wow, you hit way high.
How high?
About halfway in between the 250 and the 300-yard gong.
Man, shooting this thing from the bench rest is not fun.
You hit directly above the target, about 4 feet. Hit the tree.
The hard thing is just holding this thing. I mean, without a stock on it, it's borderline impossible.
Getting closer, about 2 feet above the target.
2 feet above him?
Yep.
All right.
Walk it on in.
I'm gonna walk it in.
Oh, just to the right. Elevation was perfect.
Really?
Yep.
You said I missed him just to the right?
Just to the right, about a foot off the side. You got him.
I hit it?
You got him.
All right, one more time just to make sure I didn't have luck on my side there.
Just high above his right shoulder. Yeah, it's in there. You want to consider the right side of a barn in there.
Well, yeah, all right, give me 6 more. Give me 6 more. I tell you what, this thing kicks a lot harder than the big boy rifle. 44 Magnum is a very sharp recoil impulse. We're gonna try again. I'm really just having to hold this thing and stabilize it so it doesn't knock my dang teeth out trying to shoot it from, a hasty bench rest. All right, you ready, Chad?
Send it. You kind of hit the chain above his right shoulder there.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Thing just has such a snappy recoil impulse. Ready?
Send it. High up in the tree again.
How high?
About 2 feet.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
All right, bring that down a bit. I saw that just to the left of him.
Just to the left, yeah. Elevation was good.
It's just crazy. I mean, that round gets there in a hurry, guys. It's not moving slow.
Oh, you just missed a little bit high.
A little bit high?
Yep, just, I mean, a couple inches.
All right, let me bring it down.
Got it.
Huh?
Got it.
All right, one more time for the road.
You must have pulled that one. It went way off to the right.
Wow. That's just crazy. Well, guys, I definitely want to thank you for watching our video on the Mayor's Lake today. I know that, you know, 250 yards might be stretching it, not for the gun, but for me as a shooter without having some form of stock. You saw that from a bench rest, it's very uncomfortable to shoot this gun from any kind of a rest. Its practical accuracy at close range, as you could see earlier, was definitely usable. Even off-hand shots, you know, at 100 are possible if you're, you know, able to, you know, do that. As a whole, the gun is awesome. It's an awesome SBR candidate. It's beautifully made. It's an awesome conversation piece. It's one of those guns that that really, you know, when you break it out, people are going to be impressed by it. It is a very aesthetically pleasing and pretty gun. If you guys haven't seen it, we've done a video on the standard big boy 44 Magnum rifle. If you want to check it out, if you're interested in buying, say, the full rifle, you might have saw this particular review and thought, hey, well, I may not really be into the Mayor's Leg, but I might be into the rifle. Well, you're in luck. We do have a review on the rifle. Check that out if you care to see it. The guns are definitely just, they're almost a form of art just as much as they are an actual firearm. And I think that some people fail to recognize that when it comes to firearms technology these days. You know, many times we're all about AKs and ARs and black guns and things like that, and shotguns and whatnot, you know, combat style guns or whatever. But I tell you, you know, there's something to be said for a nice classic like a lever action rifle with a brass frame. You just can't beat something like this if that's your thing. You know, it's definitely, it screams Americana, and that was really the reason I wanted this particular pistol. I think we will go ahead and SBR it, and we will revisit this video, and we're going to connect with those long-range gongs. Don't worry, we'll hit them. That 12-inch barrel has plenty of stabilization for that 44 Magnum. It will get out there. You'll see in a future video, guys. Thanks for watching. We'll catch you next time.